Alright, looks like we're missing a few. Oh well. Alright, first team and then second team, control C to walk behind me.
Okay, forward march.
Let's go.
He didn't realize he did not do this right. Forward march.
It's fine.
Forward march. Up. So, fucking second fire team on my left, alright? It's supposed to be two different columns. Or ranks.
It is what it is.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, it's a video
We'll
game.
work on it.
Right. Left. 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 Right.
Why do I feel
left,
like I'm going
right,
slower?
Left. Right. Left. Go left. Go left. Go left. Right. Right. Go left. Left. Right. Right. Go left. Calm right. March. Left. 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 Right. Left. Right. What time? March. There you guys are good. Second fire team break off behind us.
Apollo, take a half step forward so you're on the line.
Black will take a step back and fill into the second column, second line. There you go. Company formed ready, sir.
Alright. I'm sure everybody can hear me. Alright, so
User joined
to the
Broadcast
time.
data report again.
Alright, to the time. Major's gonna be here. He's going to be conducting the promotions and ceremonies, alright? So until you arrives, we will just wait for your majesty, alright?
Cool.
User joined your channel.
Wait, flash button.
Kitchen.
What?
Just waiting on you, sir.
Alright, I'm loading, hopefully.
Apollo. Dress right, dress.
Everybody can relax. Just relax.
Only be on the line.
User joined your channel.
First,
Go.
Sorry for this bulletin for no. We're starting to speak.
Alright.
User disconnected from your channel.
So how's everybody day going?
Good?
Outstanding, Captain.
Sir?
And it's still the morning for me, Captain.
sun's shining, wind is blowing.
That's good.
I mean, I wish my finger wasn't broken.
User joined your channel.
Maybe you should have catched the ball next time.
Work related. Okay.
Hey, man.
Well,
Go
That's
go
what
hard
we
or
all
go
say.
home.
Been perfect.
It was technically.
And you're the reason why we have safety stand down days.
Shut the fuck up.
You're not allowed to play football on the hangar no more.
Whoever set up this ceremony field did a good job.
Yeah, they did.
Who jacked up the
User
corners
joined
of the
your channel.
concrete pad though? We got rebar sticking out. It's a safety incident. It's waiting to happen.
Yeah, I need to pull out my ocean
User
cord and be
joined your
like,
channel.
y'all need some help.
You gotta remember, it's a hand-me-down
Those
platform.
engineers, darn them.
Who'd we get it from? The Marines?
Hey, per your request, Conless, we're gonna be doing a Marine fun up. And it's gonna be weapons free.
That
Everything's
was my request? Cool.
We can fix it by sinking some concrete walls almost through the ground all the way, but leaving just the corners coming out.
If we do a Marine fun up, are you gonna issue crayons or should we bring our own?
I'll issue them. I'll give you guys the map markers. You'll be able.
I like blueberry.
I like the glow sticks. Glow sticks are better.
Bro,
At
I
least
had a
it-
glow stick break on me when I came back from the one.
That
Dang.
sucks.
Tastes bad, but it's kind of fun.
So you
Oh,
die.
you just gotta put some sugar in it, man.
I like shooting them with
Like
MVGs
User
on.
disconnected
put all the
from your
sugar.
channel.
You ever
You
do
gotta
that,
save up
Apollo?
all the sugars from all the MREs for all the weeks. You dump them into it.
My friend, so when my friend's on that veto, the guys gave him a fucking like 19 boxes of MREs. He gave me.
Oh my god.
We went on a 2-week field, whatever, training exercise in real life, and they brought 130 boxes of MRAs
Yeah,
for.
that's
User
standard.
joined your channel.
Private Tech, let's
Tried
hope.
being in
Reporting
the field for 2 months and only eating MREs and getting really fat.
But they brought us hot meals every breakfast and dinner, and
You mean
then,
Mermites?
they come in. The cooks came and cooked it in their portable station.
Hot
Don't break
mics.
the barracks toilets.
That's what they
Yeah.
call hot mics.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Which one? The tombstones? We call
He's
them
like, yes,
tombstones.
sir, don't hit me.
These motherfuckers are heavy.
Coca David,
So we
fall
had
into the server.
Pallets full, so many pallets full that we didn't even touch.
Hey man, if you can eat anything but, like, if you can not eat MRE, don't eat MRE.
Man, there's some pretty good MREs though.
User joined
There
your
are,
channel.
but like, it's not worth it, man.
Man, it's not worth the shits later. Or the constipation, I should say.
Not even constipation, it's just 1,000 calories.
Oh yeah,
Up
you
the
talking about
ass.
calorie count? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you eat, like, because, like, when I was in field, we had 3 of them. So we had to eat, so we had a bunch of them, so they gave us 3 per day. Why the fuck are we getting these? So I only ate, like, 1 a day. And fucking, I started getting really hungry, so I started eating 2. Now I started gaining weight.
Yeah, if you eat 2 MREs in a day, you're gonna gain weight.
3 of them, you put
More than
6,000 calories
4,000
on.
calories there.
I mean, if you're running non-stop for 16 hours, then 2 MREs a day might be okay.
Or if you're just jogging nonstop for 16 hours with full kit on, yeah.
My knees hurt just thinking about that.
Shit, my knees are aching like a
My
mother
knees
right
are
now.
thinking about fucking everyone's.
Ugh, I gotta go to Prague next. I'm not looking
My
for all
knees
that
hurt,
running.
but not from any of the
Oh, that's right,
good
you're going to
stuff.
brag. Have fun with the All-American.
Sorry, Peg, why like you about 60 years old in the formation?
more like all alcoholics?
He does look old, doesn't he?
All depression.
30 in real
All
life,
depression
sir?
works too.
But what is the cutoff age now? Isn't it like 40, 45, 50 is the cutoff age to join the army?
No,
I've
it's
aged
30,
not
it's
well
36.
being in
Yeah,
Army.
36? I thought it was 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They might have
horrible.
changed it.
Dude, one of my NCOs in my shop's like fucking 52.
Well, you can direct commission from a civilian world and be old as shit.
Yeah, well,
Well,
it's
those are like
different
for
'cause
docs and stuff. What were you saying?
but one of my guys in my shop, he's an E6 and he's like 57 or some shit. in the army since fucking 1990. Then he got out and he got back in. Not 1990, but he's been in since like the 1970s. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been in for like 20. Like he's about to hit 20 years, like legitimately now.
Jesus, I'm about to hit 7.
Just
Okay,
go find
you're-
a Chief 5
Listen,
and you'll find a
no
60-year-old
offense, but
soldier.
you're 6 years in National Guard.
Oh,
It's
wait,
like
wait.
it's like a year.
Darn figure,
Actually,
you're
it was
National
only-
Guard?
So it was 26 months.
You a nasty girl over there?
There you go.
No, I got out of it. Came active duty.
But you were a nasty girl, that's what I heard.
Yeah, mine
Yeah,
too.
for 6 years. That's when my knees hurt.
Shit.
Hey, shit, I guess.
I'm about to hit my 1.5 year mark, and my knees are already aching. And this is straight active.
I got 1 ribbon from being there.
Get ready to embrace the suck.
Yeah, my contracts are 6
I've been in the
years.
active
So.
duty since last November. It's pretty good. I like it. Being a track mechanic is easy enough.
Yeah, get ready for that Bohica.
And so I went to my friend's house last night. That's what we did after we got done talking commas. We went
Stop
there.
lying. You don't have
Yeah, dude.
friends.
I went to my coworkers, right? And
There
we
you
went there,
go.
dude.
There's the
We made
word you're
User
looking
joined your
for.
channel.
Colleagues.
We made flank steaks, bro. Like a flank steak, like fajitas, bro. It was good as fuck.
Oh, dude, stop. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too.
I think my wife
I just
has
had
this
me some
really
longanisa.
good smoked fish she cooked. Smell. I'm just resisting going in there and eating.
I had more fajitas back in like downstairs. Probably grab some for the FTX.
Is Magic in his gear?
Yep, I'm loading in. I'm locking up now.
Okay.
I didn't have my driver.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Coker, drive. You gotta drive him up here, Coker. I'm gonna counsel you.
I had helicopters. He could have flew.
All right, let's know. Company attention.
Post. All right. Well, I didn't get task force working right, so I'm not on task force. All right. So kind of a pretty informative ceremony we're going to be having here today. Those that are coming in late, just falling in the back. No scene. Right now we just got standard OCP with beret as uniform. So I know I had a couple questions of that back at the arsenal box. All right. So where to start?
I'm just trying to find y'all. I don't know where y'all at.
Head west from the arsenal.
User joined your channel.
All right. So, company formation today. Not too many not too many awards, just by size and obviously activity and stuff like that. As I mentioned, we do have some pretty big changes happening, however, with some leadership positions. Basically all of them. We will be kind of celebrating, obviously what a pretty successful July we had overall in terms of recruitment and training. We had a airborne school, and then also a several basic trainings, which obviously pump out new soldiers. So some of you are brand new to our unit. Some I haven't met. I was pretty well gone for the last part of July, moving and waiting for a storm to unfuck itself and me get my power back and internet back and stuff like that. So, let's see. That's one thing I don't have on my notes. Apollo, if you can PM me or message me the list for airborne. I didn't put that in my notes here. So first off, Chief Morton, go ahead, post. Buffets. All right, Chief Morton here. Obviously a humongous motivational guy for our unit. He is our sole, actually no, not sole. We did have a donation from another soldier for $20. However, Chief Morton here donated $100 in the calendar month of July, earning him the Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal, with Valor actually, for donating double the amount of required. This medal is given to soldiers that donate to our unit through our donation area on our forums for $50 or more in a calendar month. With that, I mean, it's just a huge part of our unit, obviously finances, being able to have the soldiers come in and, you know, feel compelled to donate their own funds. You know, this is a unit that is solely funded on donations, whether they are soldiers from, or, you know, the soldiers here or myself, that'll kind of take up the rest of whatever doesn't come in. But, you know, Chief Morton being able to donate $100 right off the bat obviously helps our unit fund. You know, on average, it's about $200 a month is what we do. You know, as a unit for cost. That's from our dedicated servers to clan list to kind of just website maintenance throughout the year. It's split up. So another person in there was Walk Bishop, who donated $20 in the calendar month. Doesn't qualify for the Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal. However, it does, you know, recognition is humongous there. Any dollar amount obviously doesn't matter, but the award standard is 50 or more. So for anybody that's thinking in the future, or if it's, you know, it's not a must, it's not required by any means. You know, if it straps you, don't do it. I beg of you. But just if you have the means possible, please do. Hooah. And big shout out to Chief Morton here. Hooah. All right. Above it. Thanks again, Chief. All right. Next up on the list, I have two good conduct medals to issue out. One is myself. Got put on there. Thanks, Simmons, for catching that. And then Walk Brennan post.
I'm not in game, sir. I'm having some connectivity issues.
Copy. No worries. So you're being awarded the Good Conduct Medal. The Good Conduct Medal is a medal that's awarded for 3 months of good continuous service, meaning you're active. You know, not listed as AWOL in that. You know, TPR'd when you couldn't make events, things like that. You know, hopefully with a good service. I mean, each of you soldiers are being awarded this every 3 months. You know, so as leaders, we want to make sure that that's really the first thing I look for when I'm going through and making my promotion and lists, or promotion and awards list for my FTL report and my squad leader report, is that my soldiers are getting the Good Conduct Medal. Obviously, we want to make sure that you're here. You know, no large lapses in inactivity, things like that. You're going to be key to getting that one. Just really that service level. It's one that you can earn pretty quickly and max out pretty quickly throughout your career. So I believe this is your first one as well, Walk. So congratulations and hooah.
Thank you, sir.
Next one, Apollo post.
Moving, sir. Oh shit, wrong way.
Alright, Specialist Apollo is hereby being awarded the Army Achievement Medal. You know, if we did Soldier of the Month instead of Soldier of the Quarter, not saying we're changing it, we're still staying with Soldier of the Quarter. However, I believe Specialist Apollo here would probably receive that distinction. You know, nothing short of, you know, excellence on his part for his work that he's done, not only in RRO joining there. I see his fingers between him and Blackwell I think I see their fingers on almost every single application that has come through in the month of July. For his work in FIG with not only the OSET, BCT, AIT, developing and executing our trial run for Airborne School, which will be available. I think the sign-up's already out there for August here for Airborne School. Mission planning, he's taken it upon himself to develop and put forth a fun type of extra training time. I mean, what would you call it? Just fun missions.
Like, I guess fun ops, I guess.
So to get people active and to be on more than just the minimum required, you know, these extra little things aren't required. However, they provide more substance for us to do throughout the weeks during some downtime and whatnot. So, you know, he's Specialist Paul is doing outstanding in, you know, thinking outside the box, going through the proper chain, and asking for things to happen. You know, he's not just creating it and running with it. He's making sure that he's checking the box that, you know, his COC approves and that we can get support behind him to execute these, whether it's that type of schooling. Obviously, RRO is humongous. We don't grow if we don't have an active and dedicated RRO staff. We don't grow if we don't have an active and dedicated FIG staff. So obviously, and we can't grow if we can't retain people by having, you know, fun events for people to attend as well. So he's on track, and that's why I feel honored to give you the Army achievement. Cool. Congrats. About face. Fall back in.
Moving, sir.
All right. So next up, Lubashenko, Burke, Lambert, Andrews, Fagan, Apollo, Blackwell, and Conless post.
Moving, sir.
Moving, sir.
Might need to create two ranks here.
Hey, falling from the left.
Tomorrow. Oh.
Cover down.
Doing 2 ranks?
2, yeah. All right. Huh? Oh, Bellface. So as mentioned earlier, Special Apollo kind of went through, put in the work, dedication, along with some other soldiers. You know, Chief Morton, Corporal Blackwell, to conduct and execute our kind of first airborne school through us. In years prior, we've had an airborne school that we ran, but not consistently. It was more or less just when we needed one. And then we would generally ship soldiers over to our sister unit, the 173rd. The one downfall was sending our soldiers there. Not only was it unit-to-unit cooperation, which was nice, but the training times didn't always add up for a lot of our soldiers. So I felt it was obviously beneficial for us to conduct and train and execute our own course as a unit. We are not an airborne unit. 3rd ID is not labeled as an airborne unit. We're not the 101st, which is technically air assault, and we're not the 82nd. We're not the 173rd. That are all airborne qualified soldiers or air assault. We are infantry, you know, so this is just a skill badge that is not necessarily used a ton in our missions or operations, but it is that one shiny badge that you get to have, you know, honor of wearing. Soldiers in front of you are the ones that completed the very first course, are being awarded their airborne wings for their participation, kind of being our test dummies in a way to run in the course. And then I believe we did have one requalification with PFC Conless as well, who's been qualified before through whether it was our school or 173rd. I highly suggest all soldiers that currently may hold a airborne wing already participate and kind of learn this way. It's obviously tweaked a little bit from what the 173rd may have taught, more in line with our values and how we want to execute things. So I myself will be signing up for the first course that I can attend as well. So there is a, I guess, progression of being awarded your basic airborne to your master or your senior and then master parachute badges as well. You have to attend so many X amount of courses or conduct jumps. So there is a way to kind of move yourself up there. So once you take airborne school, it's not just a one and done thing. You take it multiple times as much as you can to kind of level up. And then obviously get into the, hopefully, cadre area to where you're being able to be a jump master, being able to help conduct these schoolings as well. So big hoo and congrats on the airborne.
Cool.
All right.
Sir, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would just like to take this time to, while we're up here, to say thank you to the pilots that flew us, since they didn't get anything other than some fly time. Thank you.
Cool. Very big shout out. Cool. Bellface. All right. Fall back in. All right, next up, if I can get Lubashenko and David up.
Moving.
Center on me.
Salute, David.
Key above enter. There you go. All right, Bellface. Alright, these soldiers are hereby being promoted to the grade and rank of PFC. Officially, this is kind of their first promotion out of training. You know, kind of the stepping stone into their future roles. You know, it does qualify them for a couple other positions throughout our unit, whether it's DMOS-wise, or obviously leadership, getting into a fire team leader. Just learning the ropes, learning how we do some things. As I mentioned, there'll be some pretty good changes coming here in just a little bit, but being able to execute at a lower enlisted level, I mean, without lower enlisted, the leaders above you have no meaning anyway. So being active, being here, is key points to continuing to move you up the COC, move you up to you know, private first class. You know, no reason that if you don't stay the course that specialist isn't in sight within the next month. Really, it's just execution on your part and dedication. So, I mean, you get your rocker today, so let's keep going. Hua.
Hua.
Hua. All right, Bellface. Congratulations, soldiers. All right, fall back in. All right, next up, Hood and Lambert post. All right, Bellface. All right. Let's see. Oh, I forgot one. LeBlanc post. I'm not sure if you're in game.
He's working on it, sir. He's down at
oh,
the.
I see somebody running. Oh, that's LeBlanc. There you go. We'll have to fix your rank in game. All right, both these soldiers are hereby being promoted to the grade and rank of specialist. Kind of through time and service, time and grade. I know in this case, PFC Lambert, you're serving currently as a FTL, and obviously provide a lot of, you know, your service through the Aussie side. I mean, dedication-wise, right there alone. Being able to, what time is it right now for you? 3 a.m.?
Yeah, 3:15.
Exactly. Let's see which one of our American or Canadian or North American cohorts here want to, you know, wake up or stay up at 3 a.m. in the morning to serve with us. That's quite a dedication right there. You know, Private LeBlanc, the work that you try to do through a small dwindling, I guess you could say, insurgency side, but I mean, you and a few select others continue to keep motivated to try to push that. You show the dedication to ensure that you have ArmA for that potential relocation there, and just willing to take in and learn as much as you can is going to be key. So congratulations, and
Hooah.
Buffets. Alright, fall back in. Alright, I'll let this train pass. I'm not too far from the tracks, as you can hear. Alright, next up. Get me Apollo, Fagan, and Conless. Post.
Moving, sir.
Sir.
Buffets. Alright, so let me get a drink of water because there's a little bit of talking here. Alright. So as I mentioned a little earlier, that we have quite a bit of, I guess, COC changes to kind of announce. We, from what I say, had a very successful July, but this also put constraints and, hard times on some soldiers, some C staff, stuff like that. So, I myself was one that moved. Obviously, we had in my area some power outages that lasted up to 7 days. Just a couple tornadoes, touchdown, things like that. However, we got pretty lucky. House is still standing. But obviously the repairs and whatnot. On my end, we do have time constraints with a couple other of our C staff members that, to effectively lead the unit to success, plain and simple, we need to do better. And the best thing about being a leader is that the first people we look at is ourselves in the mirror when we look at figuring out what we want to do and our own personal growth, as you may say. With that, we will be making some changes at our platoon level going forward, effective today. Lieutenant Alice will be reassigned kind of to just S2, something that he's more passionate about, a little bit of mission making, server maintenance, stuff like that. Obviously still being a trusted advisor to our staff, and moving out of the role of platoon leader. Sergeant Bodwin, it will be kind of taking a linear move to kind of that readiness NCO of our first platoon to provide his tenure that he has provided us thus far. Being in the unit 7-8 years thus far, that's a very big asset to maintain. However, making sure that we have the best person forward to lead kind of our unit. We are at a growth spurt, and I want to make sure that we kind of keep that J-hook going to where we're continuing to move up, continuing to get new soldiers like yourselves that are attending. And then obviously the larger part is retaining soldiers. We can recruit like no other, but if we didn't have an RRO, as I mentioned, RRO doesn't, if we don't have RRO, no new soldiers are coming in. If we don't have an FIG, new soldiers aren't being trained. If we don't have proper leaders to hold our people accountable and make it a fun environment and an attractive environment, we're not going to retain very many soldiers. So with that, that spawned the moves that we made thus far. So in front of you, regardless of time in service, regardless of time rank, regardless of tenure here or current positioning, C staff, myself, Captain Simmons, First Sergeant Rizzo, kind of went through and really looked hard and deep at these individuals and really went by stature of the person, their real world experience of what they have done prior service, whether it's real military or civilian side of things, In this case, we have 3 military veterans all currently serving. It just happened to run that way. That's not necessarily a requirement of ours to get into a leadership position. By any means, it's far from that. It's the person behind it. Obviously, they get a step up with the military bearing, the military history that they have. But kind of going forward, we're going to be conducting OCS and PFC Conless will be selected as our new platoon leader moving forward. A little bit with Conless, he's E7 in the U.S. Air Force. I'm sorry to everybody that has to follow that, but we will get some Army into him. But being able to... exactly. We got a couple Air Force people, Alter, I'm sorry as well. But being able to have that experience that he has at his level, that he conducts in the Air Force, and just the checks and balances that he can provide in that role of development, of proper leadership, the amount of stuff that he has in real world, and he can bring that to leading and developing staff below him, and then also mentoring myself as well on how we can get things going. It's checks and balances. Every leader needs those people below them to cause friction, and then we need to make sure that we're leading the best we can. So with that, to replace Sergeant Bodwin, Sergeant Fagan is moving from SL to platoon sergeant. So he'll be positioned fast-tracked 1 month to staff sergeant to take over and be Conless's number 2 with the guidance and obviously input of Sergeant First Class Bodwin as the readiness NCO. That's your platoon staff. With that, being able to ensure that there's training and a lot of conversations and dedications that we need to have at those 2 levels. To ensure that we have a solid, structure for a squad, solid structure for a platoon, and then obviously in that positioning at our current size is very, very vital to our unit. To have those 2 roles be one, one mind, one thought going forward, having an officer to make the plan and an NCO to execute that plan. With that opens up the squad leader. Specialist Apollo will be promoted to corporal today, effective to lead First Squad Scorpions and moving forward. So really, these 3 is that love triangle that we all need, or want, to move forward in our unit. Making sure that we have solid communication, making sure that we have a solid executed training plan. Squad leader, FTL reports, just training as a whole to understand, the expectations and then inspecting those expectations. Holding those people accountable so that we do have people that are here moving forward that want to be here because of the environment, not just because personal gain and holding a rank and holding a position, is more important than the people below them. I feel very trusted in these soldiers to make sure that my wishes are executed there. So that's kind of the big changes. I mean, between these 3, there will be obviously more brought down to squad level, making sure that we have, the structure and that solid foundation to grow another squad. I mean, we're not far off, in my opinion, of opening that 2nd squad. It's just making sure that we get to the basics, revamp and go through some of the SOPs, get those out there so that we have a solid core expectation of our soldiers, and then move forward from there and continue to grow and execute and hold classes and hold courses and hold promotion ceremonies in the future and have more people on this award and promotion list. I know some of you probably think I should have been promoted today, and to be honest, you probably should have. I'm not going to lie, you probably should have. However, the COC didn't execute. We fell through the cracks, and having soldiers that we can rely on, that solid FTL reports are being put in, solid squad leader reports are being put in. The platoon staff can count on those leaders to make sure that we have all our ducks in a row, to make sure that we don't have somebody slip through the cracks that should have been a promoted to PV2 or a specialist today, or that maybe they should have gotten a good conduct medal because they've served 3 months and they didn't have an AWOL lapse, things like that. Those are important things as a leader. That's us taking care of our soldiers, making sure that they're satisfied. So that they want to show up. I mean, if you're passed over X amount of times and nobody says a word to you about why you're passed over, that's going to make you pretty salty, no? I mean, you being overthought, you're not very important to us.
It'll make me salty.
It would make me pissed off. I would not want to be here, right? So,
amen.
We want to make sure that our soldiers are thought of. I mean, there's going to be times that you're going to think that you deserve specialist. However, you didn't get it. Right? Now that may happen, but then your leader above you should make it well known why, whether you got this gap or that gap, this opportunity to fill, to close before you get there, right? Because hell, I think I'm worth a general, no? But I got a lot of gaps. I don't know. Hey, well, okay, all right, maybe I'm worth a PFC, huh?
Definitely.
You're definitely worth a mine detector.
I'm a mine detector, that's for sure. But, I mean, we all have those. We all need to look in the mirror. What do we get better at? I feel very confident in the 3 soldiers in front of you to run that plan, execute that plan, and really make it an environment that we want to be there. We're not looking to add a shit ton of stuff, SOPs, and make it, political and, you got to do this and jump through that hoop and jump through that hoop to be considered. Right now our first phase is really just the stuff that we currently have available to us. Relook through it all, make some new, get some documents posted, things like that available to you. Go through our policies, stuff like that. Make sure we're not missing anything, and kind of make that move forward. DMOSs are huge. Right now we do have a saying, if you were a specialist or if you were a PFC and you thought you should have got specialist, good chance. I mean, make sure that you're in a DMOS. That is a requirement now. That's not optional. When we were a battalion, it was an option to be in a DMOS. Right now, we kind of need all our enlisted soldiers and higher to help out on the admin side to make sure that we have enough drill instructors, range safety officers, recruiters, uniform updaters. Last month we shouted out about Chief Morton and all he's doing for our unit. Well, nothing's changed. I mean, we've gotten a couple extra people in FIG, RRO, in those, but I believe, Morton, you're still the bulk of our, I know we trained a couple on BMO, but still the bulk of our uniform updaters, a couple extra PAO people, so we made some progress, but Morton's still a large part of that. I mean, and Morton's a damn good soldier, so that's the last thing I want to do is throw more on top of Chief Morton and burn him out because he thinks he has to do it all. That's not the case. There's 20 of us in this channel right now, right? That's a good chunk of people to distribute the workload so that, people can do stuff and help out and grow. Also, there's a lot of medals that you're not qualified for in our unit unless you're in a DMOS. That's an entire different ribbon rack that requires DMOS work to be, to get your ribbon rack, looking better. However you want to be prideful of your uniform. I know your new leaders looking at uniforms particular. I mean, are you policing yourself, looking at your own personal uniform on your profile, making sure that if you were awarded a medal today, you put in a uniform update? If you notice a medal missing on your uniform and you got a service record entry to prove that you got that medal, put in another one saying, hey, this was missed, or hey, can you get this added? I mean, you're responsible for yourself. That's a self-inspection. And I can guarantee all 3 of your leaders above you right now that are standing in front are military. They know what inspections are like. They've been through them. So I can guarantee they're going to be looking at some of that stuff. So really it's just that going forward, inspecting what we expect. So, which then will breed, excellence, which then will breed champions, and then we're all winners. So, I feel very confident, so I hope you guys do too. Hua.
Hua.
Hua. Hua. Hua. All right, Bellface. Fall back in. All right. Last up, Chief Martin post.
He's out on a real call.
Copy. One of the last, not moves, I guess you can say. Well, it is. Chief Morton's been our flight XO ever since the vacating of Captain Simmons and Alice to come help on the infantry side of things. So officially, his slot is vacant of our flight commander. So this would be a move for Chief Morton to officially be called the flight commander. Ideally, this is a position that is a officer. However, through the multiple pleas from Chief Morton, he wishes to remain as a Chief Warrant Officer. So I'll grant him that request. We're promoting him to the Chief Warrant Officer 3, as well as taking over as Flight Commander. I'll continue to work on that officer role. So he doesn't want to be a butterbar, though. It's understandable. Who wants to be a butterbar, right, Conless?
Slipping, sliding all over the place.
Hey, everything tastes better with a little bit of butter on it.
That's true. Can't believe it's not butter. All right. Other than that, it's really all the information I have for the month of July. As I said, I thought it was an outstanding month. The recruitment, the training courses and whatnot that we put forward. August is going to be, I think, another outstanding month. It is one that historically, it's a little tougher at the end of August and early September. So I'll be talking a little bit in September about kind of that down flux of activity, mostly for those that are high school, college kids. You're going back to school, right? So usually a little bit more LOAs or restricted time as you kind of develop that new routine of now having to wake up, go to school, and go through all that. Our high school sports is a big one as well, but luckily most of our stuff's on the weekends. But again, stand by for that. For as leaders, expect that a little bit. When we're bigger sized, you saw it a little bit more as when we're only now 20, 25 people. It's not as prevalent because obviously most of us are not seeing it. So other than that, August, we kind of look forward to revamping some things, seeing some obviously new leadership styles come in. I kind of look forward to it as well. Obviously, there's lots of things to be discussed, one-on-one meetings. You got a new platoon staff that'll be having some one-on-one meetings, some lower enlisted kind of Sensi type of environments, getting your guys' take. Got a new squad leader that's coming in, gonna be implementing what he feels is best for the squad, for squad drills. That potentially means some thought into what training regiments are going to look like, which will be coming down, as well as not saying it's happening, but you got the possibility of a time change for squad drills, things like that. So that's all within that platoon staff and squad leaders. So look for those. But I do think everything will be moved for the best. You got the proper people, the motivated people in those roles to kind of make happen. And they kind of really have that freedom within that framework to make that thing a rolling beast. So other than that, I think the only other two things I have to announce, we do have 2 retirements pending that'll be brought in our September ceremony. Again, as I mentioned about soldiers having, C-staff having time restraints and making sure that we're looking in the mirror. 2 of our command staff looked in the mirror this last month and knew that they weren't doing all they could for the position that they hold. And we've had some conversations, and they felt it very important that they kind of step aside, retire, and make sure that our unit thrives. Without having them, I guess, necessarily pulling us down, but making sure that they're not the reason filling a slot that's possible for somebody else in the future. So Captain Simmons and First Sergeant Rizzo both announced their retirements. Nothing to do with soldiers or their position necessarily, but just time restraints. And I know Captain Simmons going through flight school, and the restraints there, making sure that a lot of his training time for flight schools, weekends, and classroom during the week, and things like that. First Sergeant Rizzo works third shift. It's obviously very difficult to maintain a midday presence when that's like right in the middle of your sleeping schedule. Whether you fall asleep in the morning or you fall asleep in the evening, we kind of do things both. So it's a little more difficult, and both felt time-wise it's a little tougher, and to make sure that they're present here is difficult. So as of right now, both are slotted to retire September ceremony, and we'll kind of have a going away party there. And those positions will remain vacant for now until we kind of grow a little bit, see where our current leaders are. Development is key, as I do have an expectation for those positions, and not necessarily be filled anytime in the near future. It's just really when we fill that position and we have somebody that is ready for that position, and that'll be my call. So other than that, we thank them for their service, both over multiple years here. We'll kind of get a little breakdown in September here of what their achievements are throughout their career here. So other than that, that's really all I have for our August ceremony. We'll be able to kind of move forward with where we want to be and what we're going to do. I look forward to seeing what we achieve in just 1 month in September. And congrats to all those that have been promoted and awarded. You'll see PAO put out the list, as well as BMO start updating. So if you got awarded something today, hopefully you wrote it down. If not, it'll be posted and you can see it, and then make sure that uniform gets updated. So other than that, who? Let's see.
Sir? Oh, you said who? I said who also.
Who? Who? All right, let's go.
You're born.
Cadet Conless, post. All right, take charge. Dismiss your troops.
Platoon, fall out.
Oh.
Ah. Up. I walked the wrong way. Whatever.
All right, we do got FTX here in an hour and 20 minutes. So.
Yes, sir. All right, I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna update my profile.
Yep, ranks. Fix up your ranks in game and such.